Hey everyone, so I want to make a quick video. So this is a short version of my BT13 Rush style Royal Knights deck. So these are all the cards laid out. So I noticed that when I did my first longer full video, it took a long time, or it took longer to explain the cards, because this deck should really be looked at holistically, just for the combos, because these cards play very well together. So this is why I decided, okay, cool, let's lay all the cards out so that I can explain all the combos and all the interactions with these cards. So let's go quickly of what I have. 4 King Drizzles, of course. 4 Dynasmon. 4 Magnamon. 4 Sysmon Blanc. 4 Omecamon. 4 Gunkoamon. 4 Omnimon. 4 Examon. 4 From Master to Disciple. 4 Marcus Stamen. 4 Royal Knights of the Purge. 4 Burning Greymon. 2 Jesmon. And then 4 Gallantmon. All the Royal Knights are from BT13, with the exception of these two at the bottom right. I have 2 Jesmon from BT6, and then I have 2 Gallantmon from BT12. Okay? So King Drizzle, pretty simple. So this card is just the egg that you need for the deck. You don't really need another egg. I know that some people would like to play Mother D Reaper, for example, just so you can have another Digi Egg for further play cost reduction of your Royal Knights. But even then, since you don't really need it, for my build especially, you don't really need it at all. This is very rush focused. You don't really want that Mother D Reaper to come up. If it does, like if it's the first Digi Egg that you hatch, it's really bad. So honestly, just these 4 and this deck works really great. Main effect, your Digimon cannot Digivolve. There's no Digivolution going on in this deck at all. Secondary effect, main effect, once per turn, when you would play a Royal Knights in traits Digimon, then you can reduce play cost by 5, reduce play cost by 4, and then reduce it further by 1 for each Digivolution cards under King Drizzle and Raising. And then the third effect, at the start of your main phase, you just grab the top card of your Digi Egg deck, put it under this Digimon, then grab all your Royal Knights in play, then put it under this Digimon as well. So pretty straightforward. Basically, it helps to ramp up, and the more sources that you have under it, then you can reduce play cost of your Royal Knight Digimon by 4, plus however many Digivolution cards it has. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to move this egg out the way, just because there's a bunch of really bad glare at the bottom. So I will put Royal Knights of the Purge up top. And of course, the 4 King Drizzles that you need. So this whole first row are Digimon that you can on-play without needing any context for what your opponent's board state looks like, what your Digivolution cards under King Drizzle are, what Digimon are in your trash. So basically, you can play these anytime for optimal benefit. So you can play these early game, mid game, late game. The board state pretty much does not matter with these 4 Digimon cards. So you'd like to get them as early as you can. Try to mulligan for at least 1, maybe 2 of these cards in your hand when you're starting out. So Dynasmon on play. Reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 2 Royal Knights to your hand, trash the rest. That's the main effect anyways that you really care about. Your turn effect, when you play another Digimon with I'm just going to explain the relevant effects of this deck. When you play another Royal Knight Digimon, delete all of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Magnamon, it's a blocker, 7k, all turns effect. When this Digimon would leave the battle area, draw 1. Cicerone Blanc, on play, by trashing 1 card in your hand, draw 2 cards. It has Decoy Red and Black, so it might come up, but honestly, the main effect of this card is just to progress through your deck, searching for the pieces that you need. Omekamon, on play, draw 1. On deletion, then you are able to place one of your Roll Knight cards from your hand under your Kingdrasil in the Raising. So Dynasmon is just a really great searcher for the deck. When you play Dynasmon, then you can find more Royal Knight cards to play on later turns. Magnamon, also Dynasmon is useful for getting Cicerone Blanc in the trash. So just by progressing, just getting the Dynasmon out, you can get Royal Knights. But if you happen to reveal Cicerone Blanc, Cicerone Blanc will just go to the trash, and that is very helpful. And I will explain that combo. Magnamon, just really good for ramping early game, getting a cheap Digimon under Kingdrasil, and plus early game blocking, mid game blocking. When Magnamon leaves, then you draw 1, so it's helping you to find more Royal Knights later. Cicerone Blanc, so you don't really need to play out duplicates of the Royal Knights. You also, if you are very aggro focused, then you don't need to play out another Marcus Damon, for example, or another From Master to Disciple. So you can just get rid of your duplicate cards that you don't really need. Like this card is amazing, but if you are about to win the game, you almost have all the pieces that you need. For example, you can just get rid of the duplicate cards that you don't need. So it's just really helpful. For all the Royal Knights except for Jesmon, I'm playing 4 ofs. So it's really easy to just get rid of duplicates. And it will help you to find the missing Royal Knights they need, namely Omnimon. Omekamon, basically on play, so you can help dig through your deck for another Royal Knight card. But also the on deletion, very useful for putting Jesmon from BT6 or Gallantmon from BT12 under your Kingdrasil. So with these 2 Royal Knights, they don't have any benefit to on playing them. But because Omekamon, you can place 1 Royal Knight in trait from your hand under your Kingdrasil, then you can just easily put one of these cards, especially, under Kingdrasil, so you can still get the benefits from these cards from when they attack. But yeah, you don't have to use up a play cost reduction effect on these 2 Digimon. You can use it for a different Digimon, but just by putting these under your Kingdrasil, you can utilize their effects later. Same thing for Royal Knights of the Purge. If you can, try to put one of these 2 under. But if there is a better play out there, then of course you can put a different Digimon under. But for Royal Knights of the Purge and Omekamon, I recommend putting Jesmon or Gallantmon under your Kingdrasil, just because they don't really have any on-play effects. So you can just put them under without having to playing them first. Royal Knights of the Purge, main effect, draw 1. And then you can place 1 Digimon from your hand with Royal Knights under Kingdrasil. So it's helping you to dig through your deck. And also to place one of your Royal Knights, probably one of these 2, under Kingdrasil. It is an option card with delay. So Kingdrasil's inheritable. Once per turn during your turn, when an option card with the Royal Knight trait is placed in the battle area, gain 1 memory. So you can play this for 6, and then eventually you can get up to 3 Kingdrasils as inheritables. You gain back 1 memory for each one as inheritable. So you can potentially play this for 6, and then gain 3 memory So this plays for a net 3 memory. So that's very useful. Main effect delay. Play one Royal Knight from under your King Crystal's Digivolution cards, and then it gains Rush for the turn. Any on-plays effects do not activate. So it's very useful for Jesmon and Gallantmon especially. Jesmon, when attacking, you can play a Cicerone Blanc from your trash without paying its cost, and then it gets Piercing and 3000 DP from you having played another Digimon. Gallantmon, so it has, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's 6k or less Digimon. If no Digimon is deleted, trash the top card of their security. So with this Gallantmon, I decided on this one over the BT2 Gallantmon, which trashes the top security card of your opponent's security stack for every 10 cards in their trash, just because this deck is very rush focused. I don't think that most likely it's going to come into play where they will have 10 or even 20 cards in their trash. So just this Gallantmon is a more solid option of a Digimon to use, just because the trashing is more common via this Gallantmon than with the other Gallantmon. But I should note that BT2 Gallantmon is definitely a meta choice. So if there are a lot of purple players out there, or in a meta where trashes fill up more quickly, that Gallantmon is a better Digimon to use. But overall, I would say that BT12 Gallantmon is better for getting that trashing effect. Okay, so Gankomon. On play, you can play a Sistermon from your trash without paying its cost, or you can play a Royal Knight from under your Kingdrasil without paying its cost. You cannot play another Gankomon or an Omnimon with this effect. So this card is very good because you are able to play back a Dynasmon to help you search for more cards / get more Cicerone Blancs in trash, or play a Magnamon for you to have another blocker out. And then when this leaves, you can draw one. You can play Exomon to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, unsuspend one of your Digimon. Digimon suspended with Exomon do not, your opponent's Digimon that's suspended with Exomon's on play does not unsuspend during its owner's next unsuspend phase. So Exomon is just really great for stopping a blocker or stopping your opponent from attacking with their Digimon. So I would say that these are solid choices, and if there's nothing better, then you can just play Cicerone Blanc from trash. So Omnimon. On play, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon, or you can play out one of each unique name Royal Knight from under your Kingdrasil by trashing your Kingdrasil. So basically, if you have the Kingdrasil and Raising, and then you have a bunch of unique name Royal Knights under Kingdrasil's Digivolution sources, you trash Kingdrasil, so this goes away, and then you play out one of each unique name Royal Knight in your Digivolution sources. From Master to Exomon. On play, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That Digimon doesn't unsuspend during its next unsuspend phase. And then when a Digimon is unsuspended, you can either suspend one of your... when your opponent's Digimon is suspended, you can either suspend one of their other Digimon, or you can unsuspend one of your Digimon. Very useful for a combo that I will talk about very soon. Master to Disciple. So you reveal top 3, add one Royal Knight or Cicerone to hand, trash the rest. Really good for trashing Cicerone Blanc for 2 combos, actually, that I'm going to talk about. But also it helps you to get Royal Knights into your hand. Like if you want to dig specifically for Omnimon for you to close out the game, then it's just helping you to find the Royal Knight pieces they need. Or if you want to dig for Jesmon or Gallantmon for combos, then you can also do that. This is a delay option with Roll Knight and its traits. So just like Roll Knights of the Purge, you are able to gain memory from using this option and then placing into the battle area. So because you can get up to 3 memory from playing the delay option with Roll Knights in its traits, then you are able to potentially use this option for 2 and then gain 3 back, making this option effectively a hammer spark. So for 2 memory, you gain 3 to get a net 1 memory, and then you also help to dig for more Roll Knights, and also to get Cicerone Blanc into the trash. The delay effect is useless for this deck because you cannot Digivolve. But if you were to use BT13 Gallantmon instead, just getting cards into your trash and then also delaying this card, just popping into the trash just to fill up the number count. If you were to play BT13 Gallantmon or any card that you care about having a high trash count, it's just really nice to trash cards from your deck and also trash itself later to add to that trash count. But for my build, it does not matter if you trash this card or not. For Marcus Stamens, so I do want some more consistency with getting Marcus out. So just because I'm only playing a select number of Roll Knights, I have a bunch of deck space to work around with. So I just decided to play 4 Marcus Stamens. Marcus Stamen is good. It's red, so you are able to use from Master to Disciple if you do not have a red Digimon out. Marcus Stamen is also able to get rid of low DP Digimon. So on play, you can suspend this tamer. When this tamer is suspended, give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 3000 DP. So you are able to remove a Digimon of 3000 DP or less just by playing this tamer and then suspending it. So you can get rid of, for example, BT8 Psychmon, which prevents players from reducing play cost. I did build this deck in a way where you don't depend too much on play cost reduction. So if you happen to come across the BT8 Psychmon, you can still get around it by playing Cicerone Blanc or Omekamon or Roll Knights of the Purge or from Master to Disciple. So you don't. There are 16 cards, or like 20 cards actually, that you can use if your opponent has a Psychmon out and you don't really want to play out a Roll Knight card. So you are able to still progress, even if you are hindered by the Psychmon. And then if they have the Psychmon, and then you can Roll Knights of the Purge, get like this Gallantmon out, and then on attack, delete that Psychmon. This is just an example play you can do. Or you can just keep progressing as you search for Marcus Stamen, and there are 4. So when you get that Marcus Stamen, you can then remove the Psychmon. But I also built this deck in a way where you won't brick if your opponent has a Digimon out that prevents you from reducing play cost. For Burning Greymon, for that last hit that you might need for game, and just because I'm running 4 Marcus Stamens, I expect this to come up consistently. This isn't a win con of the deck, but it's just nice if you just need that one push for game, and because you don't really suspend Marcus after having played him the first time, then you basically have a memory setter that is unsuspended, and then you can just Digivolve for 2, so you can get that one push if you want to end the game that way. So I've already talked about Jasmine and Gallantmon, and then why they are useful. This Gallantmon also has Raid, but it's not as useful as the when attacking effects. But now let's go into the combos. Okay. So, again, these are your 4 Searcher Digimon. They search/dig for your next pieces. They can be played out basically whenever, early game, mid game, late game, regardless of board state. So these are just great to have in your opening hand or as early as you can. Especially try to mulligan for these 4. Roll Knights of the Purge also helps you to dig, but it also lets you to put Gallantmon or Jesmon or any other Royal Knight, but especially these 2 under your King Drasil, then play them out on a later turn using its delay effect, and then giving it Rush. Omecamon, you can also place these 2 under King Drasil or any other Royal Knight under King Drasil from your hand when this is deleted. So for the combos, let's say you are playing this option card, and then you decide to put Gallantmon under your King Drasil as the Digivolution source, and then the next turn, with just this option card out, and then Gallantmon under your King Drasil, you then pop this option card, playing this Gallantmon for free, and then it has Rush. So you then swing at your opponent's security. When attacking, you either delete something 6k or less, or trash the top card of their security. Let's say that they do not have a 6k or less. So when attacking, you trash the top card of the security, and then it checks for 1 card. Okay? Now, you can actually reduce play cost, because you played this, you chose not to reduce play cost, since it was played for free, so you didn't really need to. And the reducing play cost is optional. So you then play Examon for free, or nearly free, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then by doing so, you can unsuspend one of your Digimon, unsuspend the Gallantmon, is now unsuspended, attack, trash security, go in for 1 check, so that's 4 security cards gone in 1 turn. If you had a Marcus Daemon out, you can also Digivolve for 2 into Burning Greymon, and hopefully get 1 more check if you need 1 more check. So you can easily get 5 security / checks in 1 turn. So just because Marcus Cicerone Blanc and Omecamon, you don't really need them on the field. Like, you don't really care about the decoy, and you also really want both of them to be in trash / deleted anyways. I would chip damage them if you have the Cicerone Blanc or Omecamon. You don't really want to wait until you have everything ready before you start attacking. I would just chip damage at least whenever they come up. I would say maybe once or twice with Cicerone Blanc and Omecamon. And if you get at least 1 check in, and then you have Royal Knights of the Purge to put Gallantmon under, and then you can get 4 checks / trashes from Gallantmon in 1 turn if you have Xmon in hand, and then you can just Digivolve and then swing for that final 6 check for game. So that is 1 combo. Jesmon has something else going on too. So when attacking, you can play Cicerone Blanc from your trash, which is also why you want this to be in your trash. Gunkomon on play, you can also play Cicerone Blanc from your trash. So I would say that Gunkomon, during the ramping process, when you're still ramping up King Drasil / looking for your pieces that you need, possibly Omnimon, probably Omnimon, but if you're still ramping / finding Omnimon, Gunkomon is better if you find a searcher, something to dig / block, or something to prevent your opponent from attacking you. So Examon is like a pseudo blocker, but I would say Gunkomon during mid game is better for finding these 3 pieces. Late game, especially after Omnimon's effect, just really useful for getting another attacker out, like Cicerone Blanc. So now let's explain Omnimon's effect fully. So when you utilize Omnimon's secondary effect, which is by trashing your King Drasil, play out the Royal Knights with a unique name from under its Digivolution sources, all of your Digimon gain Rush for the turn. So even this Omnimon that you just played, without having played from King Drasil's sources, it has Rush, since Rush is a blanket effect that is given to all of your Digimon for the turn. So if you play this Omnimon out, and then you just play a Gunkomon out, of your Digivolution sources, Gankomon's on play, you can play Cicerone Blanc from your trash. And Cicerone Blanc will get Rush, because all of your Digimon for the turn have Rush. And if you happen to have Jesmon from under your sources as well, so what is an example play with just only these 4 cards? Let's say you only had Gankomon and Jesmon in your Digivolution sources, and you had 1 Cicerone Blanc in your trash. That's all you had. So you can swing Cicerone Blanc. Cicerone Blanc 3000 DP gets deleted. Okay. Jesmon, swing when attacking, play Cicerone Blanc from your trash. So you play this from your trash. You can utilize the effect. But yeah, so that's 2 checks so far. And then since this has Rush, another check. So that's 3 checks. Gankomon, 4th check. Omnimon, 5th check. So it's very easy to get 5 checks in 1 turn, just because you are using this Jesmon that helps you to play a Cicerone Blanc from your trash. And, you know, if this happened to not get delayed on the first check, this is also why the cards like Dynasmon to help you to get Cicerone Blancs in your trash, or from Master to Disciple to get Cicerone Blancs in your trash is really good. So to guarantee that you are able to play two Cicerone Blancs, it's better if you have 2 Cicerone Blancs in your trash instead of just the 1. But since it's 3000 DP, it's also very easy for this to come back from the Jesmon attacking. So with just Gankomon, Jesmon under your sources, just like these relevant cards, Cicerone Blanc in your trash, you are just able to get 5 checks in 1 turn. And since this was in your trash, you know, you probably had some earlier chip damage going on. So it's really easy to OTK out of nowhere with this deck. Another example play. I think that's all the combos, really. So if you have this Xmon in hand, roll Knights of the Purge, and then this Gallantmon under sources, then you can swing with Gallantmon for 2 getting rid of 2 security. It's not really 2 checks, but 2 checks. So you swing with Gallantmon, get rid of 2 security, play Exitmon, suspend something from your opponent, unsuspend Gallantmon, get rid of 2 more security. So that's 4 checks in 1 turn. You can hybrid for a 5th check, or you can just very easily get Gankomon, Jesmon out, and then you swing with Cicerone from the Gankomon. Cicerone's delayed, swing with Jesmon, play back Cicerone, swing with Gankomon, Omnimon for 5 checks. So it's just really easy to do that as well. So this is why I really wanted that hybrid, just in case you were not, for some reason, able to get chip damage in, then you are able to just get that final check in. Or if, you know, you did like the Gallantmon thing where you got 4 checks in, like assuming that you had 1 chip damage, then you can just hybrid for game. So this deck is very aggressive. Pseudo blocker, just really great card. Honestly preferred much over the X3 Examon, because you're able to unsuspend Gallantmon, so, or any of your other Digimon, but namely Gallantmon, so you can easily aggro your opponent out. Magnamon blocking / digging, Dynasmon searching / trashing Cicerone Blancs. This also helps to stop your opponent's Digimon from blocking / also preventing your opponent's Digimon from attacking you the next turn. Gankomon just really great. You can choose selectively if you want to get rid of an annoying Digimon for 1 turn, or to help dig further in your deck. Not that great, but, you know, also getting another blocker out in case you need one, / also getting that 1 card draw when it leaves field. And it's also a blocker itself, But if you don't have any good Royal Knights to play out, you can also play out Cicerone Blanc. Um, Even if it's early mid game and not like the final push of the game, just getting Cicerone Blanc out can be useful because of the decoy. But it can also just be for a more aggressive push if you really just want another attacker. Not that great early to mid game for getting Cicerone Blanc out, but really great for getting one of these three Digimon out. I think that is all the combos that I want to talk about. But yeah, this deck is very aggressive. I really nailed it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Royal Knights that I find very useful for an aggressive rush style deck. Yeah, so this deck I think is also pretty easy to use. I would have played this in the online regionals, but I had difficulty with a TCG player seller, and I did not get my case in time. It's been like over 3 weeks, and I still have not gotten my case from them. I ended up just buying 2 cases from a different seller. But yeah, I was not able to get BT13 cards in time for regionals, but I will definitely play this at my locals and at future regionals. So if you see something similar to this pop up, it might be me. But yeah, so try to get early chip damage with these 2 cards right away. You just really want them in trash or deleted for the effect. So there's just no reason to keep them out. You just swing for the chip damage, because you can see from the combos that some combos might actually rely on you having chipped 1 card from your security, or it's even better chipping 2, but just like one card, and then you might be set for OTKing on a later turn. It's technically not an OTK, but you can get rid of 4 or 5 check/cards in a later turn, so it's just really useful if you can chip early on. This is helpful. You just hammer spark basically as the game progresses, and then you can search for the pieces that you need. So this also adds greatly to consistency of the deck. Most of the useful Royal Knights are 4, so very easy to find the pieces that you need. But just in case you need some extra consistency, Marcus is at 4, From Master to Disciple is at 4, so you can just like dig for the pieces that you need. The Hammer Spark effect is, it can be useful. So when you play a Royal Knight, you don't want to give your opponent too much memory. So in the early/mid game, when you still aren't playing cards for 0 or very low cost, then you can still play this. You can use this option and then gain 1 memory, and then you can still play your Royal Knights. So you pass 1 less memory to your opponent to use after having played this option card. So it's just really useful. And then, of course, Burning Greymon. You can choose any red hybrid. I chose this one because it's 6k. If you want to choose the one that's Digivolves for 3 and that's 9k, you can. But I just like this one. I just like this one more. Because it can Digivolve for 2. Just in case you go into security, you check an X antibody or something, and you lose 1 memory. So you only have 2 memory left. It's just way more consistent to just Digivolve for 2, especially if this card is basically the final push. You don't really need high DP if this is the final push. Just Digivolve for 2 and then swing for the final attack. But yeah, this is the shortened video. Hopefully this was shorter. I have no idea, but yeah, thank you all for watching. This is the rush style deck. Just swing whenever possible. Early game searching going on here. Replay effects of your Digimon / get another attacker out after having been played by Omnimon effect. Unsuspend one of your Digimon, like hopefully you can get that Gallantmon combo. Suspend something, unsuspend Gallantmon, because that would surprise someone out of nowhere. If you aren't able to get Omnimon out yet, like, your opponent sees that you don't have many, you don't really have the pieces to end the game the traditional way, then you can also do it the Gallantmon way as a secondary win con. So you do have two win cons in this deck. Either get out with the traditional Omnimon method or just the Gallantmon method, which I think is not seen. I think that I came up with this, but yeah, get this out, swing, unsuspend something, unsuspend this, swing again, and then just hybrid for game. But yeah, this is really great. So I had considered changing this to BT2 Gallantmon. I think that Jesmon is still better. I had considered BT2 Gallantmon just because I was like, oh, if you get this from Royal Knights of the Purge before, not using the Omnimon effective, if you just get it from Royal Knights of the Purge, you can play it, attack, and then you get a Cicerone Blanc, which sounds good. But I felt that the BT2 Gallantmon was better. You can trash something and then swing, so it could potentially win you the game that way. But, just like thinking about it, this is a different named Digimon from Gallantmon, so it is useful just having it. And also, if you do pull it off with the Omnimon, and then you get the Gunkamon, play Cicerone Blanc, swing with Blanc, Blanc is the lead, swing with this, play Cicerone Blanc. It sounds like a fun combo itself. So honestly, I am trying out these two Jesmon cards, but I think that these could be swappable for something else. So I would say that these two are the splash cards if you wanted to play BT2 Gallantmon instead, or if you want to play BT13 Gallantmon instead. But I think that this is probably the way to go. So I'm keeping this Jesmon in for now. But yeah, I am very excited to play this deck. I haven't actually played this deck yet, but after staring at DigimonCard.dev and then just like seeing how interactions would go, I was like, oh yeah, this deck seems solid. And I can see that this deck actually fits my preferred rush style rush style preferences. So yeah, I made this into an actual deck. It's like a rush style Royal Knights deck that can actually work using only some Royal Knights instead of using all of them. You don't really need to play 13 different named Royal Knights in your deck for it to function. Basically, you just need to play cards that help you search. Dynasmon is fantastic. Magnamon isn't as good at searching, but is also really good for searching. Cicerone Blanc, good for helping you dig through the deck. Omekamon, also good for helping you dig through the deck. Master to Disciple, really great too. Royal Knights of the Purge. So you have 4 Digimon times 4, so 16 Digimon that can help you search. And then you have 2 option cards times 4. So 8 option cards that can help you search. So 24 out of 50 cards in your deck is just helping you to search for the pieces that you need. So I can honestly say that consistency is very, very high with this deck. 24 of your cards are just devoted to searching, but they don't slow down the deck from having been included in. So you can just easily play them, search for more cards, and then after ramping up enough cards under King Drusilla, you can go for game, or you can go for game with a secondary method using Royal Knights of the Purge with the Gallantmon. So honestly, very aggressive deck, pretty consistent deck, and I'm kind of bummed that I wasn't able to play this at regionals. I think that it would have placed highly, but I want to showcase this deck. I will play future regionals, and if anyone else out there loves rush style decks, I would seriously recommend giving this a try. But yeah, thank you for watching my video, and I will post any updates if I decide on updating this deck in the future. See y'all later.